SLT presents the 01 Awards on the 4th of March 2020 at the Shangri-La Hotel.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, signed, sealed, delivered. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa inks the dissolution of the 8th Parliament of Sri Lanka with effect from midnight tonight. Divide and rule. UNP Working Committee meeting turns party divide into gulf, with boycotts the hallmarks of the Samagi Janabalavegya launch today. Recovery hopes. Asian shares steady following coronavirus-led $5 trillion global stock wipeout in past week. New tactics. Wolbachia mosquitoes released in Colombo to combat dengue menace.
This method has been used in 12 other countries and it is something that is proven, tested and safe.
All this and much more coming up on this Monday, the 2nd of March 2020.
අනුහතට SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල්තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම කුස්සිය ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Shanella Fernando. Moving on to your top stories for tonight. Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa dissolved the 8th Parliament of Sri Lanka today and has forwarded the extraordinary gazette carrying the announcement to the government printer. Accordingly, the Parliament will be dissolved with effect from midnight today. The 5-year term of the 8th Parliament began on September 1st, 2015, following the parliamentary elections held on the 17th August 2015 and is due to expire in August this year. However, according to the 19th Amendment, the President holds power to dissolve Parliament after 4.5 years of its sitting, which ended at midnight last night. According to election laws, the expected gazette announcing the dissolution must also include the date of the upcoming general election and the deadline for nominations. In this backdrop, the elections could be held on 25th April. General Secretary of the Samagi Janabalavegya Ranjit Madhumabandara says that UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe should be held responsible for the current gulf that divides the United National Party. The majority of UNP Working Committee members who reconvened last night to decide the symbol of the UNP-led New Alliance contesting the upcoming general election have agreed to contest under the party's traditional symbol, the elephant. SAJITH PREMADASA and several other MPs, however, have opposed the move, with the Working Committee meeting concluding without a final agreement. Even though parties of the UNP-led United National Front have decided to contest under the Samagi Janabalavegya banner, opinions are still divided between the elephant and the swan as the alliance's symbol. As scheduled, the UNP Working Committee reconvened last night at the party headquarters, Sirikota, to arrive at a final decision on the matter. Party seniors, including leader Ranil Wickremesinghe, have suggested that the Samagi Janabalavegya should contest under the elephant due to it being the party's traditional symbol. When suggestions were made to contest under the swan, party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe had pointed out legal impediments in using it, saying the decision depends on the opinion of the Election Commission. Following this, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa had suggested the telephone as an alternative. Reportedly, a heated exchange of words had taken place between members of the Working Committee and also between a UNP trade union leader and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. When leader Ranil Wickremesinghe inquired about MP Premadasa's intention to contest under the telephone, only 8 members of the party agreed, including Premadasa, Ranjit Madhumabandara and Sujiva Senasinghe. Accordingly, the current majority consensus seemed to lean more towards contesting under the elephant symbol.
ජෝන් අමරතුංග මැතිතුමාගේ යෝජනාව ආවා අලියා ලකුණෙන් තරඟ කරන්නට කියලා. යෝජනාවක් ආවා දුරකථනයෙන් එන්න කියලා. ඒත් 8 දිනක් විතරයි දුරකථනයට පක්ෂව හිටියේ. ඉතින් බහුතරයක් හිටියේ ජෝන් අමරතුංග මැතිතුමාගේ යෝජනාවට. ඒ නිසා අපි දැන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා අපේ ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනය සන්දානයේ ව්‍යවස්ථාවට ඇතුළු කරලා සන්දානයේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව මැතිවරණ කොමිසමෙන් පිළිගන්න ඕනේ. නීතිම වැඩ කටයුතු ටික දැන් අවසන් කරන්නට තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ විතරයි අපිට මේවට අත්සන් කරන්නට අවස්ථාව ලැබෙන්නේ. ඒ ඡන්ද මෙහෙයුම ඔක්කොම අපි ඒ සන්දානයට බාර දීලා තියෙන්නේ. නාම යෝජනා සන්දානයෙන් එක එක පක්ෂ වලට බෙදා දිය යුතු සංඛ්‍යාව තීරණය කරාම ඒ පක්ෂ වලින් නාම යෝජනා ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. ඒ සියල්ලම සන්දානයේ නාම යෝජනා මණ්ඩලයෙන් සාකච්ඡා කළා. සන්දානයේ සභාපති සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මන්ත්‍රීතුමා අනුමත කරාම අන්තිමට මට එවනවා. ඒකට දුන්නේ වචනේ තමයි කොන්කරන්ස් කියලා ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. නාම යෝජනායි මම ආපහු ගිහින් මාරු කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ.
අලියගෙන් යනවා කියලා දැන් රංගේ බණ්ඩාර මහතාම කියලා ගියා. එතුමා කිව්වේ කුත්‍යාධිකාරි මණ්ඩලය අවසාන තීරණය ගත්තා. අලියගෙන් මේ
මණ්ඩලයේ තීන්දුවකින් තොරව අවසන් වුණේ. ඉතින් රනිල් මහත්තයාත් අපි දිගින් දිගටම කිව්වේ එතුමාට නායකත්වය අරගෙන එතුමාට මැතිවරණය දියත් කරන්න කියලා. එතුමා ඒකටත් බෑ කියනවා. අලියා අපිට ලකුණ දෙන්න මහලේකම් ධූරය රංජිත් මද්දු බණ්ඩාර මැතිතුමාට දෙන්නකෝ ඒකටත් බෑ කියනවා.
මෙතන අපේ තියෙන අලියාගේ ප්‍රශ්නනේ. අලියාට අපි කැමති. පක්ෂයට කැමති. අලියාගේ පක්ෂයේ බාරකාරයාට තමයි මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු අකමැති. ඉතින් අකමැති අයත් එක්ක අපි යනවද ජනතාව ඉල්ලන සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්මයාත් එක්ක යනවා. අලියා දෙන්න නැතිනම් අපිට සිද්ධ වෙනවා සමගි ජන බලවේගයෙන් සුදුසු ලකුණක් එක්ක ඉල්ලන්න කවදා හරි අලියාගේ අයිතිවාසිකම අපි ගන්න.
එතකොට මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වග කියන්න ඕනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට නායකතුමාද ඔබතුමාලා?
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ආව කියන්න ඕන.
The inauguration ceremony of the Samagi Jana Balavegaya alliance led by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa was held at the Nelumpukana Theatre today. Addressing the gathering, Premadasa pledged not to take a step back from the alliance's future program before driving it towards success.
5 political parties, including the Jatika Hela Urimaya, the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, the All Ceylon Tamil Congress, the Tamil Progressive Alliance, the United Left Front, as well as 5 civil organizations symbolically entered into the new Samagi Jana Balavegaya alliance today. All factions made a pledge during the event on their future program under the theme New Hope, New Journey.
මෙතන මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ 95 පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරු ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා. සියලු ආසන සංවිධායකවරු ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා. ආණ්ඩුවේ න්‍යාය පත්‍රයට යන අය මුණා කිව්වත් අති බහුතරයක් 99ක් මේ තීරණයට එකඟයි කියලා මම මෙතන තමුන් ආශාවට කියනවා.
මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ආරාධනාවක් කරනවා. ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා. එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ඇතුළු මේ රටේ සියලුම ප්‍රගතිශීලී බලවේග සමගි ජන බලවේගයත් සමග එකතු වන්න. සමගි ජන බලවේගය එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය අනුමත කරපු වැඩපිළිවෙලක්. ඒ අනුමැතිය තුල මම කියන්න කැමති ඉදිරියට තබපු පය ආපසු පස්සට නොතබන වැඩපිළිවෙල.
A number of parliamentarians representing the United National Party were not in attendance at the inaugural ceremony of the Samagi Jana Balavegaya. Leader Ranil Wickremesinghe, General Secretary Akhila Viraj Karyavasam, Ravi Karunanayaka, Navin Dissanayaka, Vajra Abeyvardhana, John Amaratunga, Malik Samaravikrama, Lakshman Kiriyalla, Sagala Ratnayaka, Paritha Range Bandara, Ruan Vijayvardhana, Daya Gamage, Anoma Gamage, Vijaypal Hettiarachi, Professor Ashu Marasinghe, Lakshman Vijayamana, Sandit Samarasinghe and Saman Ratnapriya were among the notable absentees.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the ideal environment for the progress of the people is with a government that shares the same political beliefs as the country's president. He added that the failure to achieve this will result in a stalemate similar to what was experienced in the past, where the president and the government would not see eye to eye and progress was stifled.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended an event in Mahava today to mark the designation of the Ipalogama Tampita Vihara as an archaeological site.
පත්වෙලා ජනාධිපතිවරයා ගමතිවරයා කියන දේ කරන්නේ ගමතිවරයා ජනාධිපතිවරයා කියන දේ එතනින් උනේ මොකද පාඩු රටේ ජනතාව
කිසි වැඩක් කෙරුණේ නෑ. ඒ වැඩ නොකෙරෙන්න හේතු උනේ අත්ත වශයෙන්ම මේ දෙගොල්ලෝගේ ගැටුම නිසා. ආම්දුරනේ අද රැටත් මම දන්නේ නෑ. ජනාධිපතිවරයා හිතුනොත් ආණ්ඩුව උසුලවන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඊයේ ඉඳලා එතුමාට බලය ආවා. මේක උසුලවන්න. එතකොට අපිට ප්‍රේල අවුරුදු ඉවර වෙලා මැතිවරණයට මුහුණ දෙන්න අවසන් දවස් 5 වෙනිදා විතර තමයි කවුරුත් හිතන්නේ.
The Presidential Commission investigating the Easter Sunday attacks presented its second preliminary report to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Presidential Secretariat today.
A presidential commission was appointed by former President Maithripala Sirisena on 22nd September 2019 to investigate the Easter attacks and propose necessary measures to prevent any recurrence. In this backdrop, the Commission's preliminary report was presented on 20th December 2019, while the second preliminary report was presented to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today. The Commission is set to compile its final report following the completion of its investigations. The Commission is headed by Appeals Court Judge Janak De Silva.
More news on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. Australian High Commissioner David Hawley assured that the release of Wolbachia-carrying mosquitoes by the World Mosquito Programme has proven results in 12 countries around the world, and added that he hoped that Sri Lanka will be able to see a decline in the number of dengue cases, reaping the rewards of the programme. He made these comments when taking part in an event organised by the World Mosquito Programme held at the Ananda Samarakone Open Theatre in Nugegora today to mark the release of the Wolbachia mosquito strain in the Colombo area. An event was organised by the World Mosquito Programme at the Ananda Samarakone Open Theatre in Nugegora today to mark the release of Wolbachia-carrying mosquitoes in the Colombo Municipal Council District 1 area and in Nugegora.
The World Mosquito Programme has developed a wonderful, natural and safe way to protect communities from mosquito-borne diseases such as dengue, called Wolbachia. Now, this is not a technology that we are saying, Sri Lanka, you must have. This is a technology that we have used in Australia. Some of you may have heard of our very famous tourist resort on the Gold Coast and near the Great Barrier Reef in Australia called Cairns. But Cairns had a very big dengue problem and tourists did not want to come. So we tried in 2011 and we tried to use the Wolbachia method of releasing mosquitoes with this bacteria. We have had such great success that dengue has not been in this area since. We are hoping that we will see a very sharp reduction in dengue here. This method that we are looking to put here with the World Mosquito Programme has been used in 12 other countries, and it is something that is proven, tested and safe. For us, I'm hoping we can all work together to ensure that the numbers of dengue cases will continue not to rise, but to start to fall here in Sri Lanka.
Following a heat advisory issued to the general public warning of a possible dangerous rise in body temperatures due to prevailing extreme heat conditions, the Department of Meteorology says that these conditions will continue until the end of May through a temporary relief, though a temporary relief can be expected through showers after the third week of March. Further, health authorities have advised the public to avoid outdoor activities as much as possible, with conditions likely to lead to severe heat stroke and cramps.
According to the heat index advisory issued by the Department of Meteorology, warnings have been issued of a significant rise in body temperatures up to extreme caution level in the northwestern, western, Sabargamo and southern provinces, as well as the Munragala district. Based on the heat index, Colombo has been placed within the danger zone, ranging with possible temperatures between 32 to 41 degrees expected. The Department of Meteorology warns that heat cramps and heat exhaustion could be experienced during the day, while continued exposure through outdoor activities could result in heat stroke. The public has been advised to avoid outdoor activities and to stay hydrated in order to avoid fatigue and heat cramps. However, speaking to First at 9, Deputy Director of the Research and Climate Change Section of the Department of Meteorology, Shiromani Jayawardena, stated that this situation is expected to last through till the end of May, but temporary relief is to be expected after the third week of March, with showers expected.
During next couple of days, we expect that feeding temperature on human body is expected to increase up to extreme caution level at some places in northwestern, western, Sabaragamu and southern province and in Monraga district. Usually this condition will remain until the onset of southwest monsoon, that is at the end of May. But in generally during intermonsoon season, we can expect some afternoon thunder showers, especially after third week of March. Then temporarily we can get some relief, but in generally we can expect this condition till end of May.
Furthermore, the Director of the Environmental and Occupational Health Unit of the Health Ministry, Dr. Tilak Sirivardhana, highlighted possible symptoms of heat stroke and precautionary measures to be taken.
When the temperature in the environment goes up, the heat cannot be lost from the body. So the body temperature will go up. This condition is called as heat stroke. You can feel the body temperature has gone up. You will feel the skin will red and hot, and you will have a severe headache and vomiting, faintness, loss of concentration, and sweating may be reduced. Effects are more on the senior citizens and the small children and the people who work under the sun in open environment. To prevent heat stroke, the main thing is you need to drink enough water to make your body hydration well. And you should not walk under the sun and wear light colored clothes and should seek shelter as possible. Advices for public has been issued already by the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health has been jointly issued with the Education Ministry to safeguard the children in the schools and in the playgrounds.
With the ambitious expansion of the coronavirus across the world, the global total death toll exceeded 3,000 today, with 70 countries now battling the virus. With South Korea claiming the highest number of infected cases outside China, the country saw a spike of 599 new cases today. Meanwhile, Iran has reported the highest number of deaths reported outside mainland China.
As at 6:10 p.m. GMT Sri Lankan time, the number of coronavirus cases reported across the world stood at 89,806, with the death toll exceeding 3,000 globally in 70 countries. With South Korea standing at the forefront of battle against the coronavirus, the country saw a spike in the number of new cases as 599 newly infected cases pushed the total number to 4,335. The total number of deaths reported from the country rose by 5, raising the death toll to 26. While South Korea holds the title of the country with the highest number of infected cases reported outside mainland China, Iran reported the highest number of deaths outside China today with 12 deaths, raising the death toll to 66. Among the victims, Iranian Expediency Council member Mohammad Mir Mohammadi was also reported to have succumbed to the virus by Iranian state media. Other prominent members infected in the country include Vice President Masume Ebtika and Iraj Haririchi, head of the country's task force on COVID-19. The United States of America added 13 more newly infected cases into its total of 88 cases reported within the country. Meanwhile, local health authorities reported a second death in Washington, D.C. Given the increase in the number of cases reported and expansion of the coronavirus across the world, 7 more countries joined the list of infected countries. Namely, Indonesia reported its first case with 2 infections from the country, whereas the Czech Republic, Scotland, the Dominican Republic, Andorra, Iceland and Portugal had the COVID-19 shadow cast over them as well. In the meantime, Australia also reported its first cases of community transmissions in the country, where a 31-year-old doctor and a 41-year-old woman tested positive for the virus after her brother returned to Australia from Iran. Australia's Chief Medical Officer Brendan Murphy said today that it was no longer possible for the country to prevent the import of coronavirus from overseas, as the travel bans are a way of delaying the burden of new cases coming into the country.
In your business news, Fitch Ratings says that Sri Lanka's finance and leasing sector will face added pressure for consolidation as deadlines for the implementation of tougher capitalization requirements approach in 2021. The ratings agency added that it views further consolidation of the sector as positive for financial sector stability in Sri Lanka, but the process could be impeded by a challenging operating environment.
In a report released today, Fitch Ratings warns that Sri Lanka's finance companies will face added regulatory pressure in consolidation as deadlines for capitalization requirements loom in 2021. It added that a challenging operating environment could further impede this process. Gross loan growth for Sri Lanka's finance and leasing companies has slowed sharply in a sluggish economy, coming in at only 0.5% year-on-year at the end September 2019, against 12.9% on average between end 2015 and end 2018. The report added that the capacity of some smaller finance and leasing companies to withstand asset quality pressures stemming from this more challenging environment has been weak, owing in part to thin capital buffers. The agency believes that the central bank is unlikely to delay deadlines for raising capital thresholds. In this backdrop, finance and leasing companies may face difficulty improving their profitability as Fitch expects economic growth to remain subdued. This could impede efforts to meet enhanced regulatory capital requirements by generating capital internally or by raising capital externally, the report added.
Asian shares steadied from early losses today as investors placed their hopes on a coordinated global monetary policy response to weather the damaging economic impact of the coronavirus epidemic. Pandemic fears pushed markets off a precipice last week, wiping more than $5 trillion from the global share value as stocks created to their steepest slump in more than a decade. Japan's Nikkei opened 1.3% lower at a 6-month tough. But after the release of Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda's statement saying the central bank will take necessary steps to stabilize markets jolted by the coronavirus outbreak, the Nikkei gave up early losses to trade 0.5 percentage point higher. In South Korea, stocks opened lower with the Korea Composite Stock Price Index down 7.98 points or 0.40% to 1,979.03 points. Rather, Hong Kong opened slightly higher with the index rising as much as 0.9% in morning trading before falling down to 26,257 points, a rise of 0.49%. Sri Lankan stocks closed 0.38% higher today, pushed up by John Keel's Holdings, Distilleries Company of Sri Lanka and LOLC Holdings. Provisional data showed Colombo's main old share price index remained stable throughout the day, trading marginally at 5,600 to pick up before close to end at the day's highest at 5,626.65. The SPI closed 21.37 points higher or 5,614.29, and the S&P SL20 index of more liquid stocks gained 0.72% or 18.97 points to end at 2,650.95. Market turnover was 256.4 million rupees, while 89 stocks profited and 40 stocks fell. Now let's take a look at how a more detailed report on the day's market activity.
In the bond market, the secondary market yield curve remained broadly unchanged, while overall market witnessed limited activities amidst thin volumes. In the equity market, bourse reverted back to the positive sentiment on the price gains made in John Keel's Distilleries and LOLC. Turnover recorded a near 2-week low, with 23% of turnover attributable to the parcel trade made in Lion, with 100,000 shares trading at Rs 600.
Sri Lankan rupee closed weaker at 182 rupees and 15 cents to the US dollar in the spot market today, while bond yields remained unchanged. However, the rupee ended at 181 rupees and 85 to 95 cents to the greenback last Friday. Let's now take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies today. International and sports news on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're at First at 9. Pete Buttigieg dropped out of the race for the Democratic presidential nomination yesterday, claiming that he no longer saw a change of winning following Joe Biden's big win in South Carolina. The move shook up the Democratic contest to pick a candidate to take on Republican President Donald Trump in November's election and came 2 days before the 14-state Super Tuesday nominating contests that will offer the biggest electoral prize so far. Departure of Pete Buttigieg leaves 6 contenders in the Democratic presidential race, which once had more than 20 candidates.
And so we must recognize that at this point in the race, the best way to keep faith with those goals and ideals is to step aside and help bring our party and our country together. So tonight, I am making the difficult decision to suspend my campaign for the presidency. I will no longer seek to be the 2020 Democratic nominee for president, but I will do everything in my power to ensure that we have a new Democratic president come January.
In more international news, North Korea fired 2 unidentified projectiles off the east coast into the sea today, South Korea's defense ministry said. The ministry said the projectiles were fired from the eastern coastal city of Wonsan. There, North Korea has fired a series of short-range missiles previously. The ministry did not provide details of the type of projectiles but said it is watching for any additional launches. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw military drills on Friday, a rare public outing aimed efforts to prevent an outbreak of the coronavirus in the isolated country. 2 Katyusha rockets fell early this morning inside the heavily fortified green zone in the Iraqi capital Baghdad, which houses government buildings and foreign missions. The incident took place around midnight when unknown militants fired the rockets at the zone, which houses some of the main Iraqi government officers and the U.S. Embassy. Sirens were heard in the zone as the rockets landed on an empty area and caused no casualty, the source said. The heavily fortified green zone has been frequently targeted by insurgents, mortar and rocket attacks. The roughly 10 square kilometer zone is located on the west bank of the Tigris River, which bisects the Iraqi capital. Now, Greece has decided on Sunday to increase the level of deterrence at its borders to the maximum as the country faces increased refugees and migrants fleeing through Turkey. The Government Council for National Security made the decision to increase the level of deterrence at Greece's border to the maximum during a meeting on Sunday. The Council also decided that Greece will not be accepting any new asylum applications by people entering the country illegally for 1 month in Sunday's meeting. The Council also said refugees will be immediately returned to their country of origin if possible, a Greek government spokesperson announced. In addition, Greece formally requested the European border and Coast Guard agencies increased presence in the region and the EU's full support to Greece with concrete measures, the spokesperson said. More than 13,000 people have gathered at the land border between Greece and Turkey, according to International Organization for Migration, after Turkey announced that Turkish authorities can no longer prevent people from reaching Europe's borders. The Greek Foreign Ministry tweeted on Sunday that some 10,000 people were prevented from entering Greek territory from yesterday morning to this morning. More than 42,000 refugees and migrants are currently on 5 Greek islands in reception facilities, which have been overcrowded for months, according to the figures provided by the Greek government. With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. I'm Shanella Fernando. Thank you for joining. Good night.